What's up, everybody? Got a build video here. This is what I've been running the underground and any PvE stuff for a while. Haven't tried it out in the dark zone, but probably going to be pretty sweet. I did try out the new Deadeye set in the dark zone today, and it was awesome. But this set is great for PvE. Will also be great for PvP if you're very accurate in hitting headshots. Super solid build. Best damage output build I think that you can really pull off right now. So this is a 5-piece Sentries and Reckless chest. I've got it pretty finely tuned. I've been working on this set for quite a while. There's definitely still some room for improvements. My stats right now, I've got 107k health. I've got enough firearms and electronics to unlock all of my skills. And I've got enough crit chance base that when I pulse, I have a max crit chance, which is 60% now. And I have some decent crit damage as well as very high headshot damage with my marksman rifle. Love this gun. Another thing, keep in mind, that I've tried to stack is damage to elites. 40% on here. It's real nice. I'd like to get some enemy armor damage, but I don't have it on my mask, or I think knee pads can roll it. That'd be really sweet if I could get it on my mask and knee pads, if that's where it rolls, but I don't have any enemy armor damage. So as far as gear goes, we start off with the Reckless chest here. This is my electronics piece. This build requires one electronics piece if you want to have the stats that I have, and having your smart cover and pulse pretty much maxed out. So it doesn't matter where it is, it just happens to be that this is my electronics piece. It's not a very great one. It's missing quite a bit of main stat. Definitely room for improvement here, but it's got okay armor and a shitty skill. So this is probably my weakest piece of gear currently. Definitely need to replace it. I've been finding replacement chests that are better, but unfortunately they are too low on electronics. I need 2260, I think, electronics to unlock cool-headed. Let's see here, cool-headed 2260. Yep, need 2260 electronics. So I can only lose 13 electronics total currently in my build. So it's very limiting on what I can do as far as chests. The nice thing about this chest, though, is that it does have damage to elites, and that's a nice chunk of extra damage on there, especially if you're using it to farm underground or incursions or whatever, which is what I primarily use this set for. It's modded. What do we got as far as mods in here? We've got firearms skill power in both slots. I believe those are my 2 firearms mods that were required to hit the 2260 firearms that I need to unlock the talents on my guns. Mask, we've got a Sentry's mask. It's not a bad mask, but it's also not that great. It's got good armor. It's got decent stamina and skill power. I believe you can get enemy armor damage as a minor. That'd be nice, and I forget what skill I'd be after on a mask. I don't think it's really important as far as skills. And it is modded. What was I modding this one with? Stamina skill power here. Now, knee pads. These are my godly knee pads. I don't think I'm ever going to be able to replace these. These were originally firearms, rolled them to stamina because I left them firearms for a while, but once I started getting other pieces of gear, I just could not. I needed the stamina, and I couldn't get a piece of gear. I couldn't find new gloves that were stamina rolled, so gloves currently are my firearms piece. This build for me requires 1 firearms piece and 1 electronics piece, the rest stamina. But these gloves are just insane. Max crit damage. I got a almost max stamina roll, and really important skill attribute here, smart cover damage resilience. If I didn't mention it, chest piece. I want smart cover damage resilience on there. You can get it on chest, knee pads, and backpack. So as far as an upgrade on my chest that I was showing, I need one with smart cover damage resilience. I've actually got one, but I don't have enough electronics to unlock cool-headed. I've considered dropping cool-headed because it's really not necessary in this build and going with that. But maybe I'll do that. Who knows? Looks like my toughness is bugging out right now. I actually have 427k toughness. This negative armor crap is not real. But backpack. I'm still using a 240 backpack. It's been very hard to replace this. It's almost max stamina rolled for a 240, so we've got good stamina there. It's got max skill power for a 240, so that's real nice. And then it has pulse critical hit damage. Very important. I need pulse critical hit damage on at least 2 pieces, if not 3. I think currently I can afford to drop it on 1 piece and just run it on 2. and I'd be like, I don't know, two crit damage away from cap. But this backpack's insane. It's got an electronic skill power mod in it. As far as gloves go, got a real nice pair of gloves. These are crit damage, crit chance, damage to elites with pulse critical hit damage and very, very high firearms. Now you can see why it's really hard to replace these gloves with, say, a stamina pair or whatever, because these gloves are great. That damage to elites is amazing in PvE, and the pulse critical hit damage is one of the things that's pretty much required for this build if you're trying to get max pulse. My skills are bugging out. Let's try changing my knee pad, see if that fixes it. It's bugging me. There we go, 42,000, but keep showing 35. Last but not least, my holster. It's a pretty nasty holster here. I wish it had more electronics because then I could use that other chest piece. But it does have pulse critical hit damage, good armor, and good main stats all around. I gave away a holster the other day that I really regret giving away because it didn't have pulse critical hit damage, but it had the ability to roll the electronics much higher. And if I had that still, I'd be able to use my upgraded chest. So I'm kind of sad. If I say change off, let's see here. Let me just test. Let's find something. This has 731. This is 736 electronics. If I switch to one that doesn't have pulse critical hit damage, let me just show you my talent here. Pulse. We're sitting at 98.6 crit damage. So cap is 100. I can lose crit damage on either my gloves, backpack, or holster. Now, what I really want is a backpack with smart cover damage resilience. So I'm planning on keeping this holster the way it is and getting a backpack that ends up rolling smart cover damage resilience. So as far as my abilities go, like you see here, we've got this pulse. It's capped out 40 crit chance and 100 crit damage. Really, really nice to have this pulse. It adds insane amount of damage to the group as well as yourself, but primarily it's a huge group buff. And smart cover. I either use recharger or concealment. If I'm in the dark zone, usually concealment, and recharger if I'm doing PvE, or trapper in the dark zone, depending on how I'm playing. But primarily it's recharger for PvE, concealment for PvP, and it's nearly maxed. We've got 48% wait, is that bugged out? I thought I was at 50%. Maybe it's just really, really close. I thought I was at 50%, but not quite there. 48%, that's still really, really close. 2% away from cap. I could definitely make it up by getting a little bit more skill power or a little bit more electronics somewhere or whatever. My backpack is definitely low on the electronics. Or no, it's my chest piece is low on the electronics. I think if I had an extra 100 electronics, that would do the trick. Damage resistance. It caps out at 75. Currently, it's at 67.5. I really, really need it on my chest piece. I've got one, but I lose out on cool-headed. I think it'll probably be worth it. I'm probably, next time I play with this set, going to end up dropping that. And that will put me up to, what, 71? I think it's 3.5 on my chest, or 3. That'll put me up to 70.5 or 71% damage resistance. And then, if I could finally get a backpack that rolls smart cover damage resilience, that would put me up to at least 74, if not 74.5. And then I'd be really, really happy. My goal is to have both of these max at 75.50. That's my end game goal with this build. And it will be able to be done. I just gotta fine tune it perfectly. As far as talents go, I run critical save. Really, really important. 40% damage reduction when you reach your last health segment. Now, if you're in Smart Cover Recharger, that will automatically apply because it's healing you. But any med kit, any healing type of skill, Recharger, Smart Cover, ammo stations or supply station, whatever you call them, immunizers, those things all will proc critical save. Really, really, really important. I run tech support. This is also really important in PvE, especially. Killing a hostile while any skill is deployed extends any active skills by 10%. This will make your smart cover that normally lasts 20 seconds last for a very long time, so you don't have to recast it or risk getting killed while you do. Really important talent there. I also run steady hands. Entering cover will reduce your recoil by 25% for 10 seconds. And you don't actually need to stay in the cover. You can enter and then leave, and you get this benefit for 10 seconds after. Real nice. Another thing we've got here is one is none. Headshot a hostile to have a 50% chance of not consuming the bullet. Of course, you probably know about this talent, and it is amazing. Really, really enjoy this talent. Makes it real nice. As far as my guns that I use, we use my M1A most often. We've got a very high headshot damage, 170 headshot damage M1A. It's a 229. Special thanks to Rakenvar for giving me this gun. It rolled cool-headed, accurate, and skilled. Skilled in the bottom slot, really important. For PvE, skilled is way more important with this build than brutal. And the reason why is I run damage tack with this build in PvP, and it is just insane. I'm able to pop my damage sig every single engagement that we run into, and sometimes twice. It only takes me 3 headshot kills, I believe. Maybe it's 4, but I believe with my skill power, I think it scales off of skill power and having recharger station down and things like that. It used to be 5 headshot kills when I had like 25k skill power, but I believe now it's only 3 headshot kills, and I have my sig back. If it's not 3, 4 will always do it, and it's just absolutely amazing. I'd rather have destructive than cool-headed or capable than cool-headed. So that would be really sweet, but capable I wouldn't be able to do because the firearms requirement would be too high, and if it was in the bottom slot, it would take up skilled, so that's not going to work. So really, the next gun I'm after is a destructive, accurate, skilled M1A 229. That would be my perfect god roll version of a M1A for PvE. Not necessarily PvP, but would just be insane. That's what I'm going for. Cool-headed's not necessary with this because unfortunately Pulse doesn't let you repulse when things are still pulsed, which kind of sucks because I have my pulse cooldown all the time. It happens so fast, but I'm not able to repulse until you either kill every enemy that's pulsed or let it run off, which kind of sucks, especially if a new wave comes and you can't pulse them. Really pisses me off. I don't know if that's a bug or if it's intended, but it sucks. And what do we got for mods on this bad boy? We've got 15x scope with headshot damage crit chance. We've got a muzzle with accuracy crit chance. We've got a underbarrel with accuracy stability. And a magazine with mag size crit damage. I used to run a crit chance weapon damage mag, but I changed it. You know, I actually think I put the wrong mag in here. I believe I usually run mag size weapon damage, or I don't know what I'm doing, but maybe this is best. I'm gonna leave it the way it is. Mag size crit damage. This will make my crits hit very, very hard. I think before I had mag size crit chance or mag size weapon damage, and then did something else elsewhere. I don't know. I'm high. I'm losing my mind. Let me just check. As long as I'm over 20 crit chance, this is good to go. And I believe I am. Yeah, 21.5. So this is good. I think the crit damage will be nice. I could do that as a weapon damage. But let me just show you how hard this thing hits. Keep in mind, NPCs have the enemy armor damage, which I have 40%. So when I'm fully buffed with 3 stacks in PvE, I crit for over 2 million damage to the head. It is just insane. Currently, let's see, to non-enemies, or non-elites, I'm critting for, what, 576,000. That's not bad for not being in any buffs. Now, when I'm in my smart cover, that's going to go up quite a bit. My DPS went from, what, 190-something to 268 now. And when they're triple stacked, let's see here, we've got 818k. Now, if I put a pulse out, it's going to go up a lot. 1.3 million. 1.3 million pulsed. That's just insane. And like I said, to NPCs with that 40% damage increase, I'm critting them for about 2 million damage. It's just, I love it. It's insane. It might even be more than 2 million damage now with the crit damage mag instead of the weapon damage mag. Just do this again here. Oh yeah, 1.3 million to the non-elite enemies. So really, really, really OP gun for this build. And I use it pretty much all the time. Occasionally I will swap to my sausage. I've got a nice sausage, but primarily I use my M1A. Even up close, I still use my M1A. Unless it runs out of ammo and they're still there, then I'll switch to either my sausage or my pistol. This is my sausage. We've got some okay talents on it. Definitely could get better, but it's got destructive with a free brutal in the bottom slot and swift. Swift is nothing special, but destructive is awesome. It's got that armored penetration, and brutal for free in the bottom slot makes this real nice. And swift isn't horrible. I mean, they're all unlocked, and as you can see, with one is none, this gun does not lose ammo. It sits there. Pretty much, wait, what's going on? I'm not getting any damage numbers there. Huh. Is someone joining my group or something? I think my game broke, guys. Oh, there we go. We're back. No. Interesting. Looks like this target right here is, immune. Very interesting. So, you can see, even without accurate on the sausage, the reticle is super small. You can consistently land headshots, which mark with sentries, and as long as they land the head, they don't count as far as bullets, because one is none procs with you. This is really weird. I really wanted to show the damage with this thing up close, but this target doesn't want to get shot. Regardless, this gun's really, really strong. With smart cover and pulse, it hits like a truck. Even at this range, it's not hitting too bad, but I believe I'm breaking around 250,000 a pellet to NPCs with this thing in the head when I'm smart covered and pulsed. It might even be higher than that, I'm not quite sure, but it's really strong, and I love the sausage. It's really, really, if you're running 5-piece sentries, you're best off with a shotgun and a marksman rifle. And I recommend the sausage over the others for the rate of fire and reload reasons. And I use a X45 pistol. I think I have its mag pulled out right now. It's a muzzle pulled out. This thing's insane. I pull this out quite a bit, and it's got a really good rate of fire, and it's also got really good damage, and it's really nice for sentries. You can stack it up real fast and just dump on their heads. As you can see, the rate of fire on this thing is just nuts. Rock some steady hands. You can just get some solid headshots with this thing at decent range, and it hits hard. I can kill NPCs with this pretty well. Unfortunately, this dummy here is invulnerable. Definitely exploit in here. But yeah, this is my gun. I think normally I have a muzzle on it that has some stability because it feels like it's missing quite a bit of stability right now. It's normally not that bad. Let's see. Let's throw a stability mod on it. And where are you? Throw that on there. Stability, crit damage. For now, I think I should have crit chance on it realistically, but now let's go into cover. That steady hand proc. Oh yeah. Now it's just laser beaming. And it hits like a truck. This thing just destroys. So, it's not fully automatic. You just gotta click the button as fast as possible. Or set up a repeater and let it click the button for you when you hold the button down. Which we confirmed by Hamish is allowed, but is cheesy. So, if you want to use a repeater, you can use one. Not worry about getting banned or something. It's just cheesy. But that's my build. I think I covered everything. This build is super solid. It just destroys as far as damage. I couldn't imagine if I was running it, like, say, underground with 4 people running 5-piece sentries. Just complete devastation. Everyone hitting for 1.5 to 2 million plus. If they weren't running a high skill power build, they could probably break 3 million damage with a proper firearms build. And that would be awesome. I'd really like to run with a group that runs a bunch of sentries. Normally there's just me, maybe one other person running sentries. and it's definitely huge damage output. Today I was not running my sentries, and I was playing with people that I normally play with, and we were killing NPCs very slow. It really made me realize how big of a damage increase my sentries was bringing to the table. And it's going to be hard. I don't think I'd ever PvE without this build. This is, I'd say, the best PvE build there is. And hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and maybe you learned some stuff, or it's going to help you figure out what you need to strive for. And don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already, and comment and stuff or whatever you do below. Check out our other videos, gun videos, build videos. I'm consistently adding new ones and changing and tweaking and min-max and whatever you want to call it. Being a hoarder. And thanks for watching, guys.